This is Stephen Dominguez from the Science Faction Podcast, and you're listening to the BS Podcast Network. Enjoy.
This podcast brought to you by OuchThatHurts.com. Visit Ouch That Hurts for music, gaming, reviews, editorials, podcasts, and more. OuchThatHurts, HERTZ.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Save Point Podcast. We are on episode 29. I am Dan, joined here by Steve, Tuesday, and Jesus. How you guys doing?
Great. It's a great day.
I have no idea what huh?
I don't know. I thought, if we were going to go for some kind of skit, I wish we planned this ahead of time. I would have
This is no skit. This is real life. This is how I am.
I was going to be like, and we're also joined here by somebody that's European or an East German woman. Take your pick.
It's the secret is Steve has actually been pretending to be an American
this whole time. This is my American accent.
Good job. I've never noticed it.
Good job. Before we get into everything, just want to thank our sponsors, our partners, OuchThatHurts.com, OuchThatHurts, HERTZ.com. Go and check them out. And then also check out the BS Podcast Network. That's BSPodcastNetwork.com. As I said, and all the other ones, any type of podcast you can think of, you will probably find on that network. Actually, you will find, not probably, you will.
Hell yeah.
So check it out. But how you guys doing today, as we're recording?
Good. What happened last week?
We didn't get a chance last week because I had gross sewage coming up from one of my toilets in my house.
The turtles were making their way up. All right.
Oh, it was bad. Oh, and long story short, basically the guy comes in. So I clean everything up. The plumber can't come out till the next day. Okay, I'm thinking that for some reason the toilet seat's just not set on the donut correctly, and the guy comes out and he's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, your pipes, they're all running to the wrong places. We're gonna have to tear up your floor." I'm like, "Get the fuck out of my house."
Oh God!
Wow.
Oh yeah, it was that bad. Like this guy was like, yeah, I only get paid on percentages, and because like this company came out and did like other work before with this toilet, so I'm like, I need somebody out here because it's still leaking, type sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so the guy's like, he's not going to make any money off of it because it's free. It's a callback. And so he's like, yeah, I only get paid off percentages, and this is like a 4:30 o'clock call, and I'm like, okay. He's like, I do accept tips and all of that, and I'm like,
what?
Okay, you're not getting a tip from me, like just
you should have given him like a mushroom. Just give him a mushroom and like a coin, and like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it gets better. I'm like, just fix my toilet. I'm not going to give you a tip. Fix my toilet. I've already paid you guys to do this stuff. So, I kid you not. He comes over, he says, I can't really do this, and blah, blah, blah. Tells me that my, pipes are going the other way. We're going to have to tear up parts of my floor to try to find out where the pipes are at so we can put a clean out in. And I'm just like, okay, you can go now. I kid you not. He is ready to walk out of my front door. He comes back in through the living room, like, cause it's like my kitchen, and then you had a door, and then you get the living room, then you hit the front door. So he comes back through, he stands in the hallway, or like the doorway of my kitchen, and we have like these apples in like a bowl, just centerpiece, whatever, it's a bowl. He goes, "You mind if I take 2 of those apples? I just haven't had lunch yet." And I'm just like, "Yes, here, take 2 of the apples." I'm like, "Fucker, you were going to try to get something out of me today if it killed you."
Wow.
I'm dead serious. It was just horrible. So that was last week. So we apologize for not being on last week.
You should have recorded a podcast instead.
I'm sorry?
You should have recorded a podcast instead.
I should have. I should have actually put the microphone on and had the conversation with this guy, not realizing that he's being recorded. I mean, he was a trip. So awesome. So I can't even talk. I completely lost my train of thought. So with that, let's go to our Lord and Savior and Jesus. What have you been playing?
So I actually been really actively playing, yet I've been fighting with my ISP because I can't stream properly because they can't fix that.
What's wrong with your internet service provider? See, I knew what that was.
So there's a minimum requirement when you have when you're streaming, your uptime and downtime.
Yes.
And the few times I've had, it's been so laggy that it's been ridiculous, and I can't do it. And I've tested it multiple times with different services and different equipment that I have, and it's none of my stuff, that's for sure. And so I called them. It's
not your bandwidth that you're trying to run it at.
No, it's and I called them, I asked them, okay, so what's my speeds? And it's like, okay, because nothing has changed since I moved into my new place. So what's wrong? And apparently I have to, as far as the day of the recording, I got to wait till Friday for someone to come out during, that, oh yeah, please be there between 11 in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, oh, fuck that. Yeah.
We'll be coming out July 4th between 5 and 7, and they don't show up till October. Got it.
So, because they're saying I'm getting because I have what is it? I have 100 up, 100 down. And
you have 100 up?
Yeah, that's what I'm paying for.
That's crazy.
I'm paying for one of the nearest highest internet prices. So I'm paying I should be getting what I'm paying for. I'm paying close to $100 a month for internet. So, and I'm getting barely enough to watch a YouTube video. It's extremely frustrating. But anyways, that's my little rant. That's why I haven't been streaming anyone, but I have been playing. So recently the new Battlefield 5 Battle Royale just came out. So my impressions video just got released. So you guys can watch that, but I can tell you now, it's okay. It's
spoiler, it's fine.
You be the judge of the video, but the game mode, it's another battle royale. It's the Battlefield 5 gunplay. It's not my favorite type of gunplay, but it is what it is. I did visually it looks really pretty. It's Battlefield 5. It looks amazing. So playing it was really fun. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big fan of their gunplay, and I was dying a lot. A lot. And
how much?
A lot. Actually, if you see my Battlefield review, you can see my mini death compilation. But I did like some of the cool things they did bring into the game, because they brought a ton of vehicles into the world. And there is some risk and reward to that. They're all hidden in bunkers, so you have to open up different doors. But when you're trying to open up a door, there's an alarm, a really blaring alarm sounding around you. So anyone around you can hear this siren going. So people know there's something's happening and it's nearby. So while you're trying to open this gate, that takes probably a minute, they can come and rush you and kill you before you can get your toys.
That's a pretty cool mechanic. I like that idea.
It is fun. I like that. Besides that, it's kind of your average battle royale after that. You circles coming, go kill people, get equipment, be number one. That's all it is. There's nothing that changes the genre too much. It's just another thing. It's a fun addition to Battlefield 5, But am I gonna go buy Battlefield 5 to play it? Probably not. So that's that. I've been playing a little bit of Destiny, but internet's been crapping out, like I said. And the only thing is, I've been really active since it's one of the only games I can play with reasonable internet. Is me and Steve talked about this a little bit during our last episode. That mobile game I've been playing, Valkyrie Crusades. They're doing their 6-year anniversary month event.
Wow.
So I've been like heavily playing that for like 3 hours a day to complete the event.
And what do you get, like special cards or something?
Exactly. So I'm like grinding away the dungeons to get the specific card that I really want for this event that's limited. So I'm 3 days in and I'm nowhere near that card. Yay.
Hooray.
But that's been my week, or 2 weeks actually now. That's been my 2 weeks.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, hopefully you get your internet set up and you get streaming again.
Yes, come Friday. So for the listeners, it should be done, hopefully.
Should be. Hopefully. So what about you, Tuesday?
I like how villainous they came out.
You're like an anime character come to life. Like
this is my voice 6 weeks on anime.
Oh no.
I've become the
that was hilarious. Were you the one that posted that?
Probably not.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about or no?
No.
The 6 weeks on anime girl?
Yes.
I love her.
So there's this clip that somebody animated, or no, that it's a real girl, and she it's like first week on anime, and she's talking just like how we're talking. The next week on anime, she's like 2 weeks on anime, and she starts to sound a little bit more, starting to use a little bit more like Japanese reference and all of that. And then by the time it hits 6 weeks on anime, she's like, oh yeah. It's just
it's literally so kawaii.
Oh yeah, it is so it's even it's voiceover. So it's like two Japanese guys talking, two Japanese anime characters talking that are male, and they're just like low voiced and all of that. And she's got the look where she's got the eyes closed and everything's all serious. So
Amazing.
Didn't she dress up or whatever and start doing her hair in that too or something?
Yeah, she did. I think in one of them she cosplayed or something. I think that was Yeah, it was great.
So we'll see if we can't post it in our Discord. So if we can find it. Oh, it's so funny. So okay, go ahead.
There's a few of those too. Yeah, there's a few of those, but the anime girl one's definitely the best. No. Anyway, so I've had a week. I played Mario Kart in real life. By in real life, I mean I experienced a real life blue shell and I crashed my real life car. I'm fine.
No.
For our listeners, I'm fine. Totally fine. But in order to, I guess, commemorate that moment, I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart per Steve suggesting it.
You're welcome.
Thanks. It's nice to relive that moment every time. Except I can retaliate when someone else throws a banana peel at me, so it's exciting. I forgot how much harder Rainbow Road is every time.
Which version are you playing? There's 20 versions in there.
Oh yeah, and I have at least 18 of them. I've been playing on the Switch mostly, although I did switch back. I went way back and played it to see if it was as fun on my Nintendo DS, the regular old brick DS.
Ah, okay.
From 12 years ago. Which my screen is falling off of it, so that made it even more exciting for me. It's more fun when that component's there, it really adds that extra level of really got to slide into first place here. Don't know if the screen's going to make it much longer. Yeah, so it's pretty much been me and Mario Kart, getting my road rage out.
But you got a new hoopty, didn't you?
Ah, I did. Her name's Valkyrie.
Nice.
So this has an happy ending. But
yes, it does. Well, were you in the market for a new car?
No. So my car was 14 years old, which, like, it sounds like, yeah, you should be in the market for a new car, but I get emotionally attached to everything, like, literally everything. So I'm like, no, like, I gave my car a hug goodbye. I seriously went to where they had my car after they totaled it out. And I was like, can I go hug it goodbye? And I swear the lady just looked at me like I was crazy. And I was like, I need to go do that. Like, I need to tell him goodbye. And I hope that he makes a very good Franken car for someone else one day. It's what he would have wanted. Please give him a Warrior's End.
Franken car. That's
Warrior's
awesome.
End.
Hey, those pick and pull places, they'll come in handy one day.
Did you float him out in the middle of a lake and light an arrow on fire and just like Warrior's End?
They wouldn't let me.
Oh. So your new one's called Valkyrie. What was your old car? What was his name?
His name was Thor.
Oh.
If I had gotten a black car, it would have been Loki. So.
Well, what color was it?
Oh, both. So my last one was red. It was a big red SUV. And my current one is now a small little red car. Which is fitting for me.
Yeah, it's a Thor and a Valkyrie. You know what? I approve.
Thank you.
I don't see anything wrong with hugging a car goodbye. When I had this little shitty car at one point, it broke down and ended up it was not fixable. And I took its license plate and kept it, and I still have it hanging in my garage. So I get it. You get attached to things.
Yeah. I was not happy about it though. I don't know. It was like the first thing big purchase I ever made in my life. So it's just like, aw.
Yeah, it sucks.
I agree with you. When I had my convertible Mustang, when I got into a car crash, if it wasn't a convertible already, it would have been.
Shit.
Yeah, I went under a truck.
Oh, no, you didn't.
I did.
Did you come out the other end or no?
Well, I went through the back end of a truck.
Oh, I see.
And it was a big pickup truck. It wasn't like a semi or anything. But let's just put it this way. Long story short, I put my head down to light a cigarette when I smoked at the time, and I looked up, and the back end of the truck was headed towards my windshield.
Oh, jeez.
Yep. I got to the point where when everything was done, I could have lifted my hand out of the top and opened up his tailgate.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's wrong with us? Why can't we drive normal?
I don't know.
I love that car though.
What
if we're sharing car stories, I can regale you. I had multiple car crashes.
Oh no!
I've totaled a total of 3 cars, none my own. But
so you're just doing it for other people?
Apparently, I've destroyed my own car a few times. Like it's been in a couple of reasonable wrecks, but it's survived and made its way back. Surprisingly,
remind me never to go like, "Hey, I'll follow you." Jesus somewhere. When you say follow me, sorry, Jesus, I'm not going to follow you. No,
don't follow.
Especially
Jesus.
not a car.
Hey, no, as long as you're in the car with me, you're safe.
Oh, okay.
So just remember, let Jesus take the wheel, and you'll be good.
Let Jesus take the wheel.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I trust that anymore.
Oh God!
It's because I wasn't there with you. You weren't thinking of me at that point.
No.
Right.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. You go ahead.
What? Oh no! I thought
you were going to continue with something, Jesus.
Oh no! I can regale you guys of like a bunch of cars destroying stories, but let's talk video games and see what Tuesdays. Oh no! What everyone's been playing. We're 2 away.
I think before we get to Steve, I think I can speak for us and say Jesus or not Jesus Tuesday that we are happy that you are okay. That's the biggest thing. It's when you said that, when you posted it that you had your crash or whatever, my stomach sank a little bit, making sure that you were okay and all of that. So we're happy that you are.
Well, thank you.
So
I was an emotional wreck, and it's been an emotional journey for me. But yeah, I mean, I'm good now.
Well, that's why you had Mario Kart.
Yes, absolutely.
So
I was gonna try and play Tetris, but I was like, I think I'm too angry for this right now.
Oh God.
So, Steve, what have you been playing?
A bunch of stuff. You want me to tell you about it?
No.
Cool. All right. Okay. Yeah. Your turn, Ben.
Next.
No, we're good. Next.
No, go ahead, Steve. What is the bunch of stuff you've been playing?
Okay, so I've been playing 3 things mainly. Some Fallout 76. I've been playing Generation Zero for review for OuchThatHurts.com, and I've been playing the Elder Scrolls Blades mobile game. I got into the access.
Semi jealous.
I'm not at all. I have no. When you start talking about that, I'm going to go to the side and go to sleep. I have no want to play a Skyrim clone on my phone.
Oh, good, because that's not what it is.
I'm still not intrigued, but go on.
All right, so I'll talk about that first. So Dan, get the fuck out of here. So this was
I'll leave it.
Are you wearing clown shoes? What was that? All right, so the Elder Scrolls Blades is a mobile game. It was announced last E3, and you could sign up for it, and for when the early access was gonna come on. So I immediately signed up for it because I'm an Elder Scrolls fan. From Oblivion on, anything before that's dumb. And so just the other day, like I got the email and I was like, hey, you've been invited, come download. Here's the link, blah, blah, blah. So I did it. And I hopped on Reddit as you do to say like, oh, did anybody else get this? And, some people were saying that they could install it, but they couldn't play it. And some people like their devices weren't, compatible, that kind of stuff. So there was some trouble getting into it, but it worked just fine for me. My phone I have an iPhone XR. So, if that matters, that seems to be working for that. So I had no idea what this game was going to be like. I was kind of like Dan. I was anticipating it to be a open world RPG, just like the same thing they've been doing, but on mobile. It's not. It is a game where you have short dungeon crawls, and these are short in the sense of you sit down on the crapper wherever you are, and you can play through a dungeon from beginning to end in like 5 to 6 minutes, something like that. And so they have distilled the game down to these like its little base elements of kind of a linear.
Hey, Steve, yeah. I hate to stop you.
What's up?
Is there somebody have a speaker on?
It's Tuesday. You can see it on the audio clipping.
What happened?
Your microphone is picking up a speaker.
I don't have one though.
Is it your headphones?
No, I don't have anything connected besides the mic.
Let's see. Testing.
Yeah, I can hear the echo.
You can actually see it. Can you not see the?
So when we're talking right now,
Yeah.
It's coming out of your speakers
or headphones.
It's not coming out of headphones, right?
I mean, I can switch.
Yeah, because what's happening is that with you listening to us, it's going back through your microphone is picking you up, so it's echoing it again.
Oh shit. Okay. Hold on. Like, give me 30-ish seconds.
15.
I'm sorry. Oh shit.
10.
I didn't realize
9,
that was happening.
8.
Oh god. Okay.
7. I forgot how to count backwards.
Sorry, Steve.
No, it's cool. I was hearing it too, but I wasn't sure if it was only on my end and only I could hear it. So
no, I was looking at it for a second. No, while you were talking, I was trying to look at our audio and seeing who's picking up what.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Is that any better?
Let's see. Oh, yep, that's way better.
Okay.
Way better. Yep.
Yay.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right, I'll start over.
You played game. It was fun.
The game equals fun.
Yep.
So the game is broken down to these kind of bite-sized pieces where you enter a dungeon, you crawl through it, you collect things, you fight enemies, and then you're done. And instead of it being this long, like hour-long process, like that would be in Skyrim or Oblivion or something like that, it's a 5 to 6 minute long journey, maybe 10 minutes if it's one of like the story dungeons. And then when you're done with that, you go back to town. And there's a reason why there's a town and it's destroyed and you're there. And part of the game is to rebuild the town. And I had no idea that this was going to be what the game was. So you go in and like one of the first things you do is you to go out and you run a little mission and you save the blacksmith and you bring the blacksmith back to town. And then the game says, all right, we'll now build the workshop. And so you have to collect some things and then build the workshop. And then once the workshop's built, then you can buy and upgrade your weapons and your armor and that kind of stuff. And then further along, there's more shops to buy and unlock and homes, and the whole town itself has a prestige value, and certain quests are locked behind town prestige. And that's where I'm at right now in the game. Is the next story mission is locked behind a town prestige of 5, and I'm currently at 2. And you up the prestige just by fixing buildings and stuff like that. And so it's been pretty fun because it is exactly a mobile type Elder Scrolls game. Like it is not something where you sit down for hours and hours and hours and play. You sit down, you play a couple missions, you go, cool, that was fun. Now I'm busy because I'm out in the world doing things. Now I'm going to go do something else for a while. And so it has these little bite-sized elements in it that I think are a lot of fun. The downside is the monetization, which is every game ever that's free, right? The chests in the game, so far I've come across wooden, silver, and gold. A wooden chest takes 5 seconds to unlock. Or 1 gem, right?
Uh-huh.
A silver chest takes 3 hours to unlock. Or like 30-something gems. And
Wow.
a gold chest takes 6 hours to unlock. Or 70-something gems. So you can play a couple missions, go to your chest, your pile of chests, because you'll get a ton of them that you just, unless you're going to spend a ton of money, it's just time that you have to spend unlocking these things. So if you always have one in the process of being unlocked, your phone will buzz at you, say, hey, your chest is ready. And you go and you unlock the chest, get your goodies out of it, play a couple missions, set your next chest to unlock, put it down and go do something else. So if you want to try to marathon the game or something, you can spend money, real world money, buy more gems, unlock things instantly, and just keep playing. But the game doesn't really want you to do that. The game is fine with saying, hey, play this in little bite sizes. You don't want to rush through this and try and finish it because you'll end up spending thousands of dollars, which I'm sure they're kind of like, please do that because that's fine. But the game is still a ton of fun without doing that whatsoever. And I think Bethesda learned this with Fallout Shelter, that you can monetize things in such a way that it's not obtrusive to the game. And that's kind of like, they haven't quite found the sweet spot yet, because I think a jump from 5 seconds to 3 hours with their chest is a bit much. But balancing issues aside, it's a really fun game. The combat's easy to do. You can play the game vertically. There are no digital joysticks. You can play it with one thumb, which is great. If you turn your phone landscape, the little digital joysticks do show up and you can play that way, but it's not optimal. It never is. The game was definitely designed to be played in vertical mode, casually. And that's exactly what it is.
I think that's knowing that might actually make me possibly try it. I think that was the thing that got me, is like, I can't stand those games where if you had to flip it landscape, then you have your thumbs on it. So basically you're taking up like 2/3 of your screen because your thumbs are now toggling, and then you got like this little picture, and it's just like, I don't, with how in depth like the Elder Scrolls can get, I'm like, I don't want to read that small, and
Yeah, it's not that type of game. Like, they have definitely taken that style and tweaked it enough for mobile. Like, when you're running around the dungeons and there's an enemy, when you get close to it, it runs up to you and the game kind of pauses to fight, if you will. Like you zoom in on the enemy and then you're just hitting each other back and forth. You don't have to worry about another enemy jumping in or someone attacking you from behind. It's one enemy fight at a time, and they'll line up sometimes. You'll fight one, and as soon as that one dies, the next one comes in. You have to be ready for that. But it's not like your other games where you have to like check what's all around you and like make sure you're attacking this guy before that guy. You run in and an enemy shows up, and it's kind of like dialogue. Like when you in an Elder Scrolls game, when you go up to somebody and you like hit the button to talk to them, and like the camera kind of zooms to them a little bit, and you can see stuff in the background kind of pauses, or maybe it'll like keep moving a little bit. It's kind of like that, but instead of talking, you're fighting. So. Okay. Yeah, super casual. I think it's almost a detriment to put in the landscape mode because that's not the way the game should be played. It is definitely a vertical game, which I am against vertical everything on phones. Like if I see anybody taking a vertical picture or vertical video, I almost hit them, and I definitely say something to them about how stupid they are. Like that is not. My mother-in-law hates me because of that, because she's constantly taking pictures and video in vertical. And then making these dumb little movies, putting them all over Facebook. And like, you can't see anything because Facebook assumes you're going to be doing landscape. And so it fills in the sides with like, anyways, that's a whole nother story.
All right. I know what the next clip's going to be on our Facebook page. All vertical.
Stop it.
So anyway, vertical only streaming?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
If it's,
I know there's a way I can do it.
Blades? No, just okay.
I know there's a way I can do it. I know.
I want to see that. Please show that to me.
Once it comes out to the public, I will stream Elder Scrolls vertical.
Do it so hard. Because this game is made for it. This game wants you to play vertically, and it's meant to. So it's great. When this does come out and it says available to the public, if it's a free download, which it should be, everyone should try it out and play it. A first couple of missions, see if it's your jam, and if it is, then as far as I know, the rest of the game is just kind of more of the same. If you play it for a few minutes and go, this is not for me, fine, put it down. That's that. All right, so that happened. Generation Zero. I'll talk about that for a few minutes. So Generation Zero, I don't know if anyone even knows what this game is. It's kind of a smaller title. It's by Avalanche Studios, I believe.
Okay.
And it is, I've been trying, I played it for 4 hours last night, and I've been trying so hard to put my finger on what type of game this is. And it is very much unique. It is almost like, an open world RPG light that there are no NPCs and you can only play online with 3 other people. Also, it's all in Swedish.
Okay.
Which really threw me for a loop. Like and it's set in the 1980s, 1989. So the game, like, it's kind of disjointed, but it sort of comes together. It's very odd, and it's fun, but it's weird because it doesn't follow a familiar template. I'll put it that way. There is nothing that is overly familiar about the game. It is first person. You have guns, but you also have like flares and binoculars, and the whole deal is that you have you've come home on a boat. Like, this was all in text. Like, there was no intro movie, which I thought was also a little bit odd. Like, when you start the game, it gives you a wall of text and you read it, and then you like spawn on this island, and you're like, here you are now. But it's also story driven. So it's not like they just have this big landmass and they just put you somewhere and said, go. Everyone spawns in the same spot as like, you landed here from a boat and now play the game. But the whole thing with this game is that all the people are gone, something has happened to them, and there are these crazy robots around that will attack and kill you on sight. And the robots kind of look like, have you guys ever heard of Big Dog from, I think, MIT? Okay, I'm gonna take that as a no.
No.
Wait, is it that one that Is it the one that they kick around sometimes?
Yeah. There's like videos of them like kicking it and it will right itself. It's like it's a big mechanical dog. It's a quadruped, right? And they've got them like running real fast now, and they're doing bipeds and stuff. The first enemies you come across kind of look like Big Dog, where they're just these like mechanical quadruped things, and if they see you, they shoot the like machine guns at you essentially. So a big element of the game is stealth, or distracting these things. So like you could pop off a road flare and throw it, and they will run after it and attack it then you can run the other direction. So there's a lot of stealth involved. The weapons that you do get are very powerful, and I have been killing a lot of these things. But I don't know. The game doesn't really reward stealth other than like it's a little bit easier and you don't have to deal with being shot. There's also I haven't come across any penalty for dying yet because you don't die. If your health gets to 0, you like fall down and then you either quit or get back up. Like I forget what the two options are. But you pretty much get back up and it respawns you in the exact same spot with 20 health instead of 100 health. And you don't lose anything. Like you don't drop your weapons. You don't lose any resources. You just kind of get back up and keep fighting. So that was kind of weird too. But the part of the disjointedness of it is the world. Okay. The forest in the world looks really, really good. And it is a heavily forested Swedish, apparently, islands. Right. And so you can go through like the woods and stuff as you're sneaking around these robots, and they look really good. You got different kinds of trees and bushes and grasses and all this stuff. It looks nice. The buildings look like they ran out of time to finish them. They almost seem like placeholders. Like here's a building and we're going to finish this building later, but then they never got around to it and said, you know what? This is probably good enough because we just need a building here. They're very basic, and there's a lot of repeated items and textures. And even like house layouts. The first house you go into is like, okay, you go upstairs and there's a room here and there's a room there. Got it. The next house you go into has almost the exact same layout, except for like one room is missing. And like all this chairs are in the same place. The TV's in the same place. It's like, oh, this is very cookie cutter. But on the flip side, the robots and the robot AI is pretty good. It's not perfect, but you do, like when these things are hunting you down, you do need to do something. Like you can't just hide around a corner and you're safe. Like they will try to hunt you down. And if they corner you, they will kill you. But then again, if they kill you, it's not really a big deal because there is no downside to it. You just kind of respawn yourself in the same place and keep shooting. So it's weird. It's just a really weird game. I played it for about 4 hours last night and I had fun.
You sound really sure.
Yeah, I am positive that I had some sort of fun.
Fun question mark?
Fun, yeah, fun with a little asterisk at the end, and the asterisk is kind of. So the game it's a multiplayer game. So I started the game and it put me into a world where I was alone. And I was like, okay, maybe the game is closed and I have to like go through the menu to open it or something. Or I don't know. I just started playing because I wanted to experience the game. About an hour into the game, a little like thing pops up that says, so-and-so entered the game. And I was like, oh, cool. Someone's in here with me now. And so I looked at my map and they had spawned in at like the starting point where I had started at. And by this point I was halfway across this island. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to turn around and go back to them. Like they can catch up with me because I was in the middle of like taking down robots and stuff, being a teenage rebel, because the 80s, and it's like every 80s action movie ever, which again is in this game's favor. The music sounds straight out of like the Terminator. Like it's very synthy and action heavy, and it fits like the like 80s action movie aesthetic perfectly.
Like
really,
I won't lie,
good.
that kind of is like a selling point to me.
It sounds really good. Also, the weapons sound like weapons did in the 80s, in movies in the 80s, like the sound effects wise. Like these are not realistic weapons. These are movie weapons from the 80s, which is also really cool. Yeah. So after this guy finally caught up with me, or we kind of met in the same place, And there's no good way to communicate. There is a wheel. You can make a wheel pop up that has different like emotions or whatever on them. Like what are they called? Emotes, different emotes, right? But 70% of them were just different dance moves. And one of them was like pointing, and it wasn't a good way to communicate. I later found out in the menu that you can switch them out, and the useful ones are not defaulted. Like there's a thumbs up, a thumbs down, like all of like useful to communicate, and none of those are defaulted. All the dances are defaulted instead, which I thought was a very odd choice. So I wish I would have known that, because it's like we run up together, and I think this other person didn't know what they were doing, because he like had his weapon up at me, like, are we supposed to attack each other? Like, and so then I just started dancing, because I was like, no, I'm friendly. Like, how do I show that I'm friendly in this game without talking? Because I didn't have my mic or anything.
Look at me with the leather and the dancing.
Yeah, that's exactly. I had on leather pants, a leather jacket. And I just started like dancing. And so then like the guy backed up a little bit and then turned around and ran away. And I was like, okay. So that was kind of a fail.
So in other words, you scared him. You killed him by scaring him.
I scared him with my awesome dance moves. So another hour goes by. 2 more people join the game. One of them was obviously farther ahead level wise, because he or she spawned in at a very different location and never really did anything with us. The missions, like everyone's doing the same missions at the same time all the time. Like missions that I was on just started being advanced as the other players were advancing their mission. So like stuff started happening that I didn't know what was going on, which like the game assumes that 4 people that know each other and are talking are playing, and that was not the case. And so that was very confusing. Except mission started being completed and I started getting XP for it, which was kind of cool, because I was running around going, what's happening? It's got an interesting kind of weapon upgrade mechanic. You can attach things to your weapons if you find them. There are backpacks everywhere in the world. Like everywhere you look, there's a backpack with ammo and health packs. And like I'm running around with like 20 health packs, thousands of rounds of ammo, couple of guns, and that's kind of it. So anyways, I still have more to experience in this game. I played for 4 hours. I followed the main mission mostly, and I got an achievement at the end of that 4 hours where I got to this place and looked at this thing, which was like a mission board essentially, where it was like, here's a safe place, and here's a board that shows a map of the area, and here's all the missions that you can do. And so I looked at that and was like, okay, cool. Like there's a bunch more missions. And then an achievement popped up, because I'm playing on Xbox, that said like, congratulations, you have finished all of the tutorial. And I was like, oh, that was the tutorial. Cool. So I guess I've done everything in the game at this point, or it's taught me how to do like all the different things in the game. So if the rest of the game is just kind of more of this, but in different locations, I'm kind of done with it. If different stuff happens, then like I want to see that. There are different robot types. I have not seen all of the robot types, so I have that to look forward to. Generation Zero. I don't know what to think about. I need to play some more and ruminate on it some more, because it does a lot of things that are really cool, and a lot of things are just huge missteps. So we'll have to see how that one goes. And I believe it's already out. I think it's been released.
Yes, it has.
Okay, so if anything that I've said sounds interesting to anybody, go buy the game. Go check it out yourself. I'll be on there on Xbox. Come find me. The last little bit of thing that I've been playing is Fallout 76. That got its claws back into me. I've been going through the main mission. I now know why the Brotherhood of Steel was there, and I also now know all about the Enclave. So, story-wise, really awesome to somebody who's a Fallout fan, because there's a problem with the Brotherhood being on the East Coast, and this kind of helps with that story beat a little bit, which was cool. The other thing is the Enclave, which has been kind of the background enemy since Fallout 2. Their background story is more fully fleshed out in this game, and you join both. You join the Brotherhood of Steel and you join the Enclave as part of the mission. So that's pretty neat. got some new power armor. I did a bunch of the Foxnot, whatever it was called, Foxnot parade, the limited event that they ran. I did that a bunch, and that was a ton of fun. It was, you go to this town, and there is this parade that happens every year where people put on masks and march around and then have a celebration, right? In real life, this location in real life, that's what they do. That's a yearly thing that happens. So in Fallout 76, the robots that have been left behind are continuing the tradition to do it. And it's to like banish Old Man Winter and welcome spring or something like that. And so you get to this location when the event happens. You have to do something to collect all the robots. So there's like 5 little mini missions that you have to do. Then after the robots get together, they go on the parade. And as they go on the parade, a bunch of enemies spawn. You have to keep them safe. And if you keep them all safe through the parade, then you get the maximum rewards. And the big deal was collecting these masks. That was the only way to get them, was through doing that event. So that was pretty cool. Every time I did it, a bunch of people all across the server came over to do it. So every time that event happened, I was playing Fallout 76 with anywhere between 5 to 15 other people, which awesome. Was a lot of fun. And nobody was mean. Nobody was shooting each other. Everyone was just doing the event. And so the events were all really easy every time I did it, because there were so many people there to do them. The parade was never in any danger. At the end, like a surprise, like super enemy would show up, and that thing was dead within seconds, and it dropped awesome loot, which was cool. And then after the rewards were doled out for completing the event, there was a lot of like, so that the masks dropped, and then plans to build things in your camp also dropped. And there was a limited, number of these things, and they had different drop rates and all that. So what was cool is after everyone got their rewards, people that had done it a ton of times and had already gotten some of the rewards, they would drop them. So like all these little paper bags would start showing up, because that's how dropped loot shows up from players in the game. Mm-hmm. So all these paper bags start showing up, and so then everyone was like running over to everyone else's paper bag, like, oh, what did you get? Like, what thing don't you want that I can have? And so every time, like, I would get something that somebody else dropped, and every time after my second time, I would drop something as well, and by the end it would be gone. So that was something somebody else needed. It was awesome. And if the devs of Fallout 76, like if they saw how popular this was, they must have. And so this is good content. The game needs more things like this. And all they had to do to make it special was make it only a week-long event, I think, and have special loot. Excuse me. Because events happen constantly all around the game all the time. There's just no reason to do them, because you don't know what they are. You don't know what the rewards are going to be. And you're more often than not going to be doing the event alone, which a lot of these events are made for like 5 to 10 people to do together. Mm-hmm. Maybe more like 4, because a group is usually around 4, but nobody ever does them. There's no reason to. So if they like hack down the number of events and made them more of like events, like, hey, this week, these 5 events are running, and, here are the special things for these 5 events. And then next week, it's going to be 5 different events. And like, if they rotated the events or something, like, they could get more mileage out of this and make these events more interesting for people. Cause this one was a huge success as far as I'm concerned. I moved my camp to just outside of town so that I could have free fast travel every time the event popped up. And then after the event was done, I did the like follow me emote to everybody, and then walked back to my camp, and then people could use like all the stuff at my camp, because I had a camp, with all of the workbenches and everything set up.
Party at Steve.
I threw a party after every parade, and usually one person would come with me to look like real life. So those are the things I've been playing, and I guess I'm done talking now.
Okay. Thank you, Steve.
I don't know. I just start talking and I can't stop. It's stupid.
No, it's all good. No, it's all good. I really want to try to get myself back into 76, because I don't think I've actually given it a fair shake.
Yeah. It's time.
So-
They have tweaked the game enough that I think about now is time to give it another shot. It will feel different.
Sweet. That's good to hear.
Awesome. It is.
And more is coming too. Oh man, they announced like all the stuff that's coming down the pipe. So
yeah,
it's
I
very
saw
exciting.
that. So absolutely. Cool. Well, I think that leaves me then.
Yeah, what you been playing, man?
I've been playing a lot of Satisfactory.
Oh shit, I played that too.
Oh, you did?
I forgot. Yes, that's good. That's a fun game. But you talk about it.
So Satisfactory is oh god, it's a base building game based off automation. Would that be a good way of describing it, Steve?
Yeah, or if you know what Factorio is, it's a first-person Factorio.
Yes,
Okay.
Basically it is. So you basically just dropped on this planet, and it says survive. And you pick up and you start to collect and you start to mine. Like the first thing you start to mine is iron, and from there you can make like metal sheets and metal rods, and then from there you can make screws and you can make reinforced and all of that. And what the game, the one gripe I have about the game is that there's such a lack of a tutorial that it took a bit for me to like kind of figure out like, and I'll kind of go into where my first playthrough was, and then I started my second one. Like it wants you to build like a portable miner, and then from the portable miner, it wants you to actually create like a building that's like a mining building, and then from there, it wants you to like attach a conveyor belt to like a smelter. From the smelter, it's going to make it into ingot, and then from ingot, it's going to take it to a cultivator, and the cultivator is going to make it into your like the thing that you want it to be. If it's metal rods, or if you're doing copper, you know, it can make it into copper wire or into cabling or whatever it is. Okay. And then you store it. And then what you got to do is you got to like take these things that you made and put them you got to like send them out, and then that upgrades your base. And then that gives you like more tools to be able to automate things. But it makes you like think of everything. Like you have to find a source of electricity for it. From the electricity, you got to find like, which is a generator. You then got to like actually run like electrical cables to your components and all that. So it basically makes you like automate everything. So like you're always mining like copper ore, and from copper ore, the conveyor belt is always bringing it to the smelter, and from the smelter, it's always bringing it here, and then you're putting it into storage. You know, so you have like these conveyor belts all over the place. You have these wires all over the place. I didn't catch on to that. Like I'm still waiting. Like when my first playthrough, I'm still waiting for like, okay, where's it going to show me how to start to automate and build these buildings and all of that? And it didn't. So like Steve, I would go to like the iron supply area or the copper ore area, and I would physically like chip away at it.
Oh no.
Bring it back to the thing, and then like hand and wait and like holding on to like the E button or into like the left mouse button. And I'm like, this is going to get old really soon. And it did.
Well, yeah, because you're supposed to automate things.
Yeah, I'm supposed to automate things. So I never. So like,
it's like you need 5 iron for this thing. Okay. You need 10 iron for this thing. Okay, that's doable. You need 100 iron for this thing. You need 500 iron for, and like, whoa, what? Like that escalated quickly. And that's to build everything. It just requires more and more and more. And so if you're not automating, you're spending like an excessive amount of time if you were doing it by hand.
Yeah, I was doing it by hand for like a good like 4 hours.
Oh,
I'm
no.
like, oh yeah. And I'm like, there has to be something to this. So I cheated. I looked up on YouTube, and I'm like, how do I automate this stuff? And I'm like, oh shit, I'm so fucking stupid. So I ended up restarting and going to a different planet. And I did that. So like it is early access, so there's a lot of I don't want to say bugs, but there's a lot of things that can be better with it. I saw a couple of floating textures.
But
it's
like, rough.
the cool thing about this is that like the scope of you being able to automate these things is huge. So like the copper thing, like where I set up my base, the closest copper ore mine that I had was like up on like a mountain, like up on a hill.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a miner, and then literally I like put different conveyor belts that like went back and forth like on the little edges, and then like made it back to like my base.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where I put my other things. It is, I don't, it's just addicting to me. Like like literally what you're doing is you're building a mining factory.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
that's really about it.
Factories and stuff. Yeah. I was playing for several hours, and I got to the point where I had unlocked a lot of things, and I needed to now start production. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm going to start making an actual building, because all of my stuff was just sitting out there on the ground. And so I laid down flooring, put up walls, and started, moving my production into this inside space to have it be more organized. And very quickly I ran out of room and went, this building that I thought was big needs to be like 10 times bigger. There is so much to this game. And the thing that you're working towards, I believe, is a space elevator.
Yes.
I think that is the current like end game scenario, is to build that thing. But to get there, there's like all these different tiers and just a ton of stuff to unlock. You're just building factories and defending yourself from little enemies that run up on you every now and then, which in Factorio, I haven't played it, but I've watched a lot of other people playing it. There are like waves of enemies that'll come, and I think that's what this game needs. Not necessarily to like destroy all your stuff, but to give you a sense of urgency. Because from time to time, I just kind of like, I'm just sitting there like, okay, things are automated and I'm just waiting. And there's nothing else to do in the game. Like you're only mining and building, or you're doing nothing at all.
Correct.
And so, so I got to the point where things were automated pretty good and I just needed to wait. And so I just walked away from my computer for a few minutes and came back and was like, all right, well, now it's done. So it's an early, like you said, it's an early access game. And I think there's a lot more to be added to it. But as of right now, very addicting. And I want to play more of it. I want to play more of it right now.
I kind of do too. Like I want to get in like the co-op. So there's 4-player co-op total with this. So, and it didn't seem like there was any like a competition type sort of thing. Like everything is just kind of shared. Like it reminds me of like a Minecraft server. Like you just kind of go on that server and whatever you do on that server is there.
Okay.
All
right.
Like you can't take it into your other game. So like if we wanted to jump into your factory planet, then I would have to jump out and jump into yours, and you would have to load up yours. I
see. Okay.
Yeah.
So like somebody hosts and then other people join them and
correct.
Okay.
So like I can't wait, like where, like I create a couple of lookout towers, which are absolutely massively huge, like tall. And it's like, I can't wait for like you or me, Steve, or whoever else gets it to like put and start to say, okay, we're going to put this here. We're going to put this building here. So Steve, you start building this building and I'll start finding, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then and then there's like, I looked on YouTube and I put in like mega structures, and some of these things that these people have come up with are just insane.
Yeah.
Some of these mega structures of how things are just being automated, and they got trucks back and forth delivering things, and it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Like there's this one guy that literally had like just a warehouse of just storage containers. Now, if I remember correctly, there's 10 rows of 10 by 6 or 7 rows.
Yeah, that sounds right. 10 by 6 maybe.
Yeah, 10 by 6. And all he was doing for like his top row was like he was having it where it would go through one storage container. If that storage container was not full, it would just move it to the next one. Like that's how he automated them. Okay. And he had like 6 or 7 storage containers on top, and all he was doing was putting wire in it. Now, wire in one little slot can hold 500 wire.
Mm-hmm. So
it's 500 wire with 10 across and like 6 down.
That's That's a lot of wire.
Yeah, and he like filled them all up because he just kept mining. Like that's how like the production is. Like I want to see like if there's an online if I want to see like an online leaderboard, like a counter of okay, how much stuff have you really mined? And
that'd be cool. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, but like have it be like okay, like how do you see that? But I mean, it's just statistically why. I just think that would be something that would be really kind of cool. I do think that there would be a nice like combat wave of enemy type sort of thing coming in. Like if you have to make like sort of a defense type sort of thing,
like a tower defense situation would be fun.
Yeah, I don't want to see like a PvP.
No.
Because I think the PvP would ruin it.
Yeah, no. This is a game where it's you versus the environment.
Yes.
And like mining is you attacking the planet, and so the planet should have some kind of defenses. And they kind of have that in there a little bit with a couple of little enemies that'll attack you. But it'd be interesting if there were like spawn points or nodes or something where every so often maybe you build something nearby to like let you know when like a bunch of enemies are coming, and so you can load up your guns or whatever, and have them be automated. Don't give the player guns. Have them build turrets and build bullets and have to keep them powered and have to keep them full of ammunition, and just have it be more stuff to automate. That'd be cool.
I agree. I agree 100% with that. So I played a lot of that. I noticed something though. It was really kind of weird. Like I noticed something that like it was using. Like I was on like medium to like high settings on that, and I went and I pulled up my GPU, and it was using like 99% of my GPU, like this game.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like, that's weird. And I started looking, and like I went to like some. Wow, my GPU is kind of old. So I was going back and forth for like a week of, do I just let it flow or what do I do? And then I found a deal. So I upgraded to an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2060
damn.
GPU. Yeah, buddy, it was fun. Well, the thing is I found out that I had like a 500 watt system. So I'm slowly getting into this hobby of building my PC up. And so I went out and like I said, on supply, I got the new GPU or video card or whatever you want to call it. I call it GPU. And so Friday night, all of that, I put it in, and I'm like, and my wife was down here and she's like, are you ready? And I'm like, I'm hope it doesn't blow up. And because I've never done this, like I've never done that extensive of a PC build, components or whatever. And I was able to do it, and I was really, really happy. It has some really kind of fun, like RGB on it. Cause I'm finding out I'm an RGB whore.
RGB meaning what?
Red, green, blue lights.
Yeah. Oh, like on the card itself?
Yeah. On the card itself. It actually has like some nodes that are, so like, it's an MSI, so like the MSI logo lights up, and then there's two fans, and the two fans all have 4 different nodes of like 6 or 7 different lights on them. So like if you're looking in my PC, you can see my graphics card, and it has like little things that it does and lights that jump, and my fans are lighted up, and the case is lighted up and all of that. And then, my speakers are lighted up. So are lit up, lighted. I keep saying lighted. Who says lighted?
Nobody.
Yeah, I know. Except for me, are lit up and all of that. So, and I think my next thing I'm going to do is I want to upgrade my RAM to RGB RAM too. And then I think I might be done.
Well, LEDs or colors, lights in your case does make your computer run faster in the same way that polished chrome makes your car go faster. So just keep putting them in there, man, and you'll get more CPUs and GPUs.
Steve?
Yeah?
You're fired.
Oh.
It's left, man.
no.
All right, time to kick him out of the call.
Time to kick him out. No. So I did that. And then, I started the reason I said this is because I started to like re-download a whole bunch of other games and all of that I haven't played. I booted up Anthem. So like I have an optimizer, so it's a GeForce. So GeForce, has their experience and it says, okay, we can optimize your games and all of that. So I did that and like it was on like low to medium settings for Anthem. I hit optimize and everything went to ultra. So
nice.
Yeah. So I was really excited. Like there's a huge difference. Like I'm so happy with this card. So if anybody, I'm not trying to.
Did it add better loot drops into the game, or is that
way better loot drops? All I'm going to say is that if somebody is in the market, not crazy expensive, but a decent GPU, the GTX MSI GTX 2060 Gaming Z is a very well put together GPU that I'm thoroughly enjoying using right now. So I did that. So I downloaded Borderlands 2. Let's talk in a bit. And, I played like 2 Point Hospital, which was wonderful. And it actually came with that. It's actually a lot of fun. Cool. I work in a hospital and then I come home and I play building a hospital. So it's like, go big. I'm actually in the engineering group of my hospital. So like I actually do build the building. So,
nice. Wow.
And as we talk right now, there is an update going through on Satisfactory. So,
interesting.
So I don't know what the update is, but cool.
Neat.
So did that, and then so I'm really happy with that. And then I played a lot of Sekiro because I did a review, which is my review is up on ouchthathurts.com. So check it out. It just got posted today as our recording of today is. So check it out. A little bit of a spoiler alert. It's a masterpiece of a game. It really is a masterpiece of a game.
Cool.
I am not a huge like Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Demon Souls player. In fact, those games actually kind of infuriate me to a point. Mm-hmm. Because I hated. There's two things I hated about the games. Like everybody goes crazy. Games they are great games. They really are. I couldn't stand not being able to jump. So I always felt like I was weighted, and then I always felt that I was extremely slow no matter what weapon. Like it never did enough damage, and it's like, okay, I want to do an attack. I want to do an attack, and I can't. So I found out playing those games that I am more of an attack heavy person than a dodge person. Like mm-hmm. I would rather go over and get hit, and I'll take damage and then go find health than dodge and then try to go in there and pick at you and then dodge and go in there and pick at you some more. Like I couldn't stand that. So the Souls games and the Bloodborne games Bloodborne kind of just didn't sit well with me, I guess. Like, I'd play them if it was co-op, but that's really about it. So now I started looking at Sekiro and I'm like, okay, it's from Software, so it's going to be that type of game. But there's verticality to it because you have the grappling hook. You can jump. You go up and down. And I'm like, and then I started watching. Like I originally, when I first saw it, like at E3, I was like, "Fuck this! I'm not playing another Souls game." I'm like, I'm not gonna dive myself into it. Not anything like that. And then I started really watching combat, and the combat was so much faster. And then, you had the verticality of jumping up and down and all of that. The one thing is that you keep the same katana, you keep the same sword through the whole game. You don't upgrade you don't have armor, you don't have different weapons, anything like that. You literally, that's what it stays at. Okay.
Then what's your progression? What do you do to?
So like the way that you progress is by actually killing enemies. Okay. And that will give you experience. And then what happens is, you have your arts. So you have your shinobi arts. So you can learn different moves, so different taps of the button, and all of that. And then, like, long story short, without giving too much away, your left arm, like this is known public. Your left arm is completely severed. Okay, so you are fitted with a prosthetic arm, and this prosthetic arm can have like things attached to it. So like you can have like an axe attached to it, or you can have a fire barrel attached to it, or a grappling hook. Okay, cool. So what happens is when you do that, you start to unlock different skill trees for certain things. So like as you progress through the game, certain skill trees progress. So as you start to fill up this experience bar by killing enemies, you'll get like a skill point. That skill point can then be turned into at a bonfire or a statue, and you can then get different skills and then use them during battle. The trick to this is that if you die and you stay dead, okay, you lose everything that you gained is halved, like right away. So if you had 1,000 gold, it goes down to 500. If you had 1,000 XP, it goes down to 500.
Wow. Okay.
On your next respawn. The reason that it's called Shadows Die Twice is that you have the ability that when you die to resurrect yourself, okay, and try to get back into the fight. And like you get picked up, you don't get all your health back, but you get a good amount back. And then you can try the world again. And then if you can still keep killing enemies, your resurrection bar or orb will fill up again. And you'll be able to use it again, but it takes a long time for it to fill up. And the only way to fill it up is to kill enemies. So it's not like you can just walk around and wait. Like you actually have to kill enemies. It's just I could talk another 20 minutes about this. It's just such a fun game. It's hard. In fact, it's extremely hard. There's one other thing I want to talk about with that is that they actually came out and people are saying that they should create an easy mode. And it's just like there's people going crazy over that. It's the game that is made the way that it's made. The reason that people are getting pissed off about this is that they made a game where it was, so if you take the Souls games, it's dodge, and then go in and hit the guy. Okay. So you're waiting for your moment to get in there. You hit them, then you start to dodge or block or whatever again. So you're being reactive to defense. In Sekiro, it's based off like parrying and your posture. So you would, if you want to block, you obviously you put your sword up, okay, and it wants you to be aggressive in hitting the guy. So you got to look for your opening, but it wants you to go crazy on him, but know when to stop, and then know when to parry again, know when to dodge again, know when to jump over, So there's basically 3 types of blocks that you can do. So you can have a deflection, you can have one where you jump backwards, or you can have one where you dodge. Okay. Or like you stutter step away. Like it teaches you to do that. So like it's the complete opposite of your Souls games. So if you're going to go in there playing like a Souls game player, you're going to die, and you're going to die a lot. Like you have to unlearn all of the concepts that you learn for the Souls games to play this game.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a really interesting and fun game.
Cool.
So, but besides that, the story is amazing. It is visually gorgeous. It's one of the most gorgeous games I've played on the PlayStation. I was playing on PlayStation Pro. It's just absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. All I can say is that I highly recommend it. I mean, even if you're not a huge, it's harder than shit. It is a hard game. But if you are not one that gets frustrated easily and you just want to stick to it, I mean, this is such a rewarding game that when you play it.
Hard but rewarding.
It's hard but rewarding. So if you want my full review, check it out on OuchThatHurts.com. And all of that rambling that I just did actually is a coherent thought when you actually read my review. But like I said, spoiler alert, I'm just going to say it gave it a 10 out of 10. It's my first 10 out of 10 game I've ever given on any review. That I've ever done.
Wow,
Yeah.
no flaws? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Impressive.
Yeah, no, it's a 10 out of 10 game, and please check it out, read the review, watch. There's just so much talk about it. It's such a great game. So getting into our topic, so at PAX East over the weekend, we got a huge announcement of Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
So like Tuesday, I know that you and your guy friend are very excited about Borderlands. Correct?
Oh yeah. I'm super pumped for it. I already told him if I don't get my own PlayStation, I'm gonna get a controller and play it on his. So we're probably going to be fighting over playing that.
Wait, you have to. He won't let you borrow his controller.
Well, I don't think Borderlands 3 is split screen.
I think it is.
You think it is?
I don't know, but I still want my own.
Okay,
you should, and you should get your own.
Yeah, it's gotta be all Tuesdayed out, you know.
Absolutely. So we know that Tuesday. What about I haven't really heard from Jesus and Steve over it. What is your thought of the announcement of Borderlands 3?
Go for it, Jesus.
Me? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So, actually, I was able to watch the entire conference, so I'm excited for it. I've never been a big Borderlands fan, but I've enjoyed the games for what they are. They're fun shooters with multiple guns, lots and lots of guns. So it's always been fun. I've always find it enjoyable when playing with people. I know it's a fun game alone, but when it comes to these types of games, I just like having that sense of community when murdering people. But
wouldn't you call this like a near perfect original loot shooter?
Yes, for the most part, yeah, it's near perfect. I'm looking forward. The one reason anyone who has watched the trailer, the one major reason I'm gonna get it is to get that one gun with legs.
Yes,
that's honestly the only reason. My goal when playing Borderlands 3 will to be hunting that gun down. That is my goal when that game comes out. I will find this gun with legs, and it shall be my main weapon, no matter how shitty it is.
What if it's like the first weapon you get in the game?
Then the game's over for me.
Nice.
What about you, Steve?
I'm pretty excited. It looks cool. The Borderlands series has always been a lot of fun. It doesn't take itself seriously, which is amazing. I think that's really cool. It's fun. It's bright. It's funny. It's you got this crazy post-apocalypse situation going on, and it lives and dies by its community. I think Jesus hit that nail right on the head. I played the first one barely at all. The second one a lot more because I played with some people. This is on PC. Through Steam, I believe. I connected with some people and we played, and it was a lot of fun. And then when those people stopped playing, so did I, because it's not as fun as a solo game. You want to play with people, and since it's been a few years since the last Borderlands, and more and more people are online now, and there are communities that are formed. I think it's the perfect time for another Borderlands to come out. So I think they're going to hit it hard, and I think they're going to do well. And I think by the time this game comes out, people are going to be, or a certain percentage of people are going to be done with what are they called? The Fortnites and the Apexes, whatever those games are called. What are those called?
Battle Royale.
Battle Royale. Yeah. When people are done with Battle Royales, they're going to look to this as something that's fun, and that you can get together with your friends and play and loot stuff and, oh, what kind of cool gun did you get, and that kind of stuff, and let's trade and let's go kill things, and it'll be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. You nailed it on the head. I think the formula for the first one was good, and I think that they took it upon themselves. They looked at it and said, okay, how do this game better? And there's stuff that they did for the for the second one is just absolutely incredible. I remember going and buying it with my friends at midnight when Borderlands 2 came out, and we played for so long it wasn't even funny. And like we stayed up, I think I stayed up until like 6 a.m. Playing it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I could care less about the first one. Like, I didn't care for the first one. Like, I'm like, this is boring by itself. I just don't find it fun. And I know that there was some sort of like online element to it, but I never really explored it on as far as the first one. The second one just is, you're right. I think it became such a community game. And then I've never, I don't know about you, I have never heard such a funnier game in the past 5-10 years than Borderlands 2. Which one?
Portal.
I don't, no, I don't think so.
Really?
Okay, so within the first hour to an hour and a half of the game, okay, you realize that besides a whole bunch of other jokes, I mean, Claptrap is amazing. He's so funny. But besides that, so you have Sir Hammerlock, who is, if you take his scientific renaming quest, remember when he started calling bullymongs?
I gotta tell you, I don't remember what anything was named at all.
Oh,
it's been so long. So.
Yeah. If you're trying to tell me anything at the moment, it's gonna be.
So
refresh
he goes
your
over.
memories.
He goes. I want to read, or however the quest goes. He goes, I want to read. And he's like, they're not going for our new name. So you know what? Screw it. Let's just call them boner farts.
I do remember that.
So, and the thing is that if you didn't complete the rest of that quest line, anytime you saw a bullymong for the rest of the game, they were called boner farts.
That's amazing.
And then they're talking, and then what is it? Handsome Jack talks about how he has to he has this horse or whatever. So he's talking to a horse or whatever, and he's like, I'm going to name him Butt Stallion.
Okay.
So
I mean, Borderlands has the juvenile humor down like to a science, which can be really cool. Can also be annoying. It goes both ways. And that's fine. Like, if you know what you're getting into and if that's your kind of humor, then that's great. And I happen to think that kind of stuff is funny. So that's cool.
Yeah. And well, I mean, think about it too. Like, when you get online with your, how many of us are not juvenile? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the mindset that we go into. Like Tuesday, you, me, your guy, and one of our other friends was playing, and we were playing Smash. And I mean, that was juvenile jokes galore, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, there was like, any time that there was some form of an innuendo, we said it. Like, it was, and it was just a great time, and I think that that's what Borderlands is that Borderlands is the ultimate party shooter game for our generation that to me has such an awesome amount of comedy to it that it's perfect. I mean, it's just one of those perfect games.
And it looks like they're leaning into the comedic aspects of it and not taking itself seriously.
Yep.
Even more so, like the whole gun with legs thing, the way that the whole trailer was set up, the whole thing where there's a billion different types of guns and they're falling out of the sky, which is obviously a dig at other games where it's harder to get loot in them. It's just like, here's all the loot. And now, and just today, before we started recording, the box art was revealed, and It's amazing.
It's basically Steve, because they named the only one that they ever named enemy was Steve.
Oh, was it? What they call like psychos or something? I forget.
Yeah, psychos. Yeah, his name was Steve. In the first and second one, and he basically looks like Jesus.
They knew it was us all along.
They knew it. I mean, he's got like the whole like halo of him and all of that. And I mean, like I looked at this and I thought it was a joke. Like I'm like, there's no way that this is the actual box art. If this is the box art, that's amazing. It really is.
It's huge. And like for the longest time, the joke was like, oh, Borderlands 3, it'll never be released until they figure out how to make somebody shoot themselves in the head with 3 arms or whatever. Cause the first one, he's got, fingers to his head and behind it's like a splatter, but it's like, it's image from the game. The second one, he's got 2 hands up and there's 2 splatters. Well, how do you do the third one? Well, they just took a left turn and said, how do we do a third one? Jesus. That's how we do a third one.
Well, if you remember, he dies in the
spoilers.
Spoilers. It's only how long? So it's like it only makes sense. And then the Borderland logo is his hand.
That like arch looking thing. Yeah,
I absolutely love it.
Really good.
I've always loved ever since 2. I've loved the Borderlands series. To the point that I actually have a real working claptrap.
Working.
So
to what extent? Does it run around make jokes?
Did you program him?
I can turn him on, and I can control him, and he will go across the floor.
Oh, I thought he was
like he's an actual robot.
Oh, I thought he was just going to be an asshole to you.
My mind immediately went to the Rick and Morty. What is my purpose? Butter.
Yep. You can pass the butter.
Pass the butter.
Pass butter.
If you actually go into our Discord, and I posted a picture a couple days ago of my office in the podcast general chat section.
Okay.
He's sitting in my office right now as my claptrap. So when you actually enter my office, if you're looking at it, my door is to the right. When you enter, you are greeted by claptrap.
Amazing.
Yep.
Oh, there it is.
I think that's how I'd like to be greeted anywhere.
With claptrap?
Yes.
So
there's roses. I didn't notice that in the picture. There's a bunch of roses at the bottom. In the middle of each rose is like a face.
No, yeah.
I didn't notice that before. Wow.
So they did they actually did a little teaser trailer where they made the head, but within that one large video image, there's like you can see these little like intricate details from the game. Like they use the models. I'm gonna see if I can post it. There it is.
Yep. Now are the guns behind them supposed to be the Game of Thrones throne?
I mean, kind of. They're all sticking up around him, or maybe like wings a little bit because the smoke kind of is coming up out of the barrels.
That's true. That could be it. So it's just looking. I'm just really looking forward to it. Like and I'll play it. Now the question I have too is that are we making our own Vault Hunter?
Oh,
what do you mean?
Because if you look at the trailer, it's all different customized Vault Hunters. Like none of them look the same.
The 4 that they have?
Well, I'm saying in Borderlands 3, they didn't name that you have 4 hunters, did they?
Wait, what?
The trailer makes it look like you're your own Vault Hunter.
That would be cool.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like you create your own character. Like you don't pick. So like you had, I'm sorry.
Like an archetype, like before you had like the one with the powers, and then you had the
Gunzerker or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was like if you picked the Gunzerker, you were that character. You know, like if you picked the Necromancer, you were Tiny Tina. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, they did mention something about that. So you do still have to pick an archetype as far as that, but they did mention that their models, like the customizing models. Like before, you had like skin changes, color tones. God, what's the word? Color swaps. There it is.
Yep.
Palette
This time around, they've improved the customization. So you will be able to customize it far more than before, but you still do have to pick an archetype for your Vault Hunter.
Okay.
So
that's okay.
they've from what I'm seeing, I already know which one I'm going to be picking up or which one I'm going to be. So you have your like brawlers. What was the name of the psychic abilities called?
I'm not sure. I know what you're talking about.
Scion, something like that. Sirens, there it is. So you have like this brawler siren. You have like this tech person who can like summon like a mech, basically.
Yeah, the commando.
And then I'm trying to remember the last two. The one I'm gonna be is the tamer. Basically, you get to summon monsters to help you on your side.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember the last one, and it's bugging me now. There's
so what did you play, Steve? What did you play as?
When I played Borderlands 2, I was like the dwarf with the guns. Was that the Gunzerker?
Yeah, it's the Gunzerker.
Yeah.
What about you, Tuesday?
So it's been a hot minute since I played because I only played the first one. I don't remember if I ever covered this, but Borderlands, as much as I love that game, makes me super motion sick. Which is also why I haven't actually played the second one. I don't remember what I used to play as. I just remember being really dizzy but having a blast. That's actually
usually that's how I feel after the bar.
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, if you want to get drunk without being drunk, and if you're me, you can just play Borderlands. Yeah, no, it's been a minute, so I'd have to go back and look and load her up again. I'm hoping this one I won't get dizzy playing. I'm equally as excited to play this one as I am like kind of skeptical, but we'll see. I'll keep everyone posted.
Awesome. So, and then just a quick note with that too is that, even though Borderlands 3 was announced, they did announce, and it comes out the 3rd, which is tomorrow as of recording right now, is the remaster, Ultra HDR remaster of Borderlands, the original. And basically what they've taken is they've taken the concept of Borderlands 2, and put it into the original Borderlands. So now you can have 4-player co-op and all of that. And I know there was a big discussion of who's getting it on what system and all of that. And so, and basically if you own it, if you own the original on PC right now, all of this comes to you for free.
Wait, what?
Oh, what?
Wait, I'm double checking if I own it.
Yeah. The original Borderlands, if you own the original Borderlands, everything, because Steam has a thing on their website, their terms of service, I was reading about this, that they do not allow publishers to sell the same game twice.
Oh, interesting.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So basically, since it's the same game, all they're doing is graphically upgrading it and adding things to it. You can't resell the game to a PC player.
Interesting.
So yeah, so that's what it is. But if you are on console, you're gonna have to rebuy.
Yeah, I think I had the first one on like the 360, I want to say.
Yeah.
And so that's long gone now.
I think I still have my original on my 360. Pretty sure I do.
Maybe.
So yeah, it's a good relic.
Steve, I say PC also. I say maybe do a couple of stream sessions with it.
So here's actually an interesting question. Are you guys going to be purchasing it on Steam?
I don't know.
Because it is a 3? Yeah. Because
I don't know.
It is a time exclusive on PC.
Oh, no. What? With who?
With Epic.
Oh.
So I wasn't going to bring this up, but it is going to be. It is okay. You're going to be able to get it first on the Epic Store, and I think I'm trying to get the time. I think it's like 90 days
Oh, I'll just wait then. I mean, I've got more friends and stuff on Steam, so this is a multiplayer game where you want to play with other people, and that's where I know all of my people. So why would I switch to something else?
And supposedly they're saying the leaked date is September 13th.
Of 2020?
No, this year.
Really? Oh, that's quick.
Yeah, it's saying so right now, according to PC Venture, Borderlands 3 release date and Epic exclusivity may have leaked. Borderlands 3 is coming September 13th and exclusively on PC to Epic Games Store, and those who are at least those are the release details are coming according to a handful of leaks. Blah blah blah. They still haven't confirmed it. Gearbox announced blah blah blah. This Mayhem is coming September 13th. The account has since been deleted.
Well, that's a Friday. So
interesting here.
Yeah.
So I'm looking into it a little bit too. So it's like 6 months exclusivity, and then possible cross-platform.
That was a big thing on our Discord. Also, if people haven't been catching this, please join our Discord. The link is at any place that you download our episodes. You can get onto our Discord. We have great talks on there. But besides that, I have not seen anything about crossplay until I scroll down on this VentureBeat website that I'm looking
E3,
at.
I bet E3 comes around. We're going to learn all about all this stuff. And if it is crossplay, like if they're jumping into that boat of crossplay, then I'll just get it on my Xbox.
It is Epic, so it is using the Unreal Engine. So they have been working really hard to be able to do this crossplay platform. So it
would be cool if it's crossplay between all consoles, just PC and Xbox.
Yeah, like in a world where people want to connect in any way possible with their friends to play, and you release a game that lives on multiplayer, you got to get that crossplay going. You just have to, otherwise you're dead. Dead in the water.
Yep. So that's the remake of Borderlands coming out. We'll obviously keep it here with us, and anything that comes Borderlands 3 we'll talk about. Anybody have anything else they want to talk about tonight?
No.
I do not.
I'll hold my tongue. So
awesome. Well, I think then that will do it for us tonight. As just always, thank you for downloading us. Thank you for listening to us. And we'll see you next week.
Good night.
Bye.
Later.